Hi, this is Mark Vaughn calling to you from a Porsche 718 Spider in Los Angeles, California. And I am talking to multi-time motocross, supercross champion Ken Roczen in his shop in Florida. Ken has won more championships than I can count. I think it's two 450 motocross championships, and how many supercross championships, Ken?
I got two 450 championships. I have one West Coast Supercross 250 Lights Class championship, and then I have a 2011 World Championship bike actually in my shop as well. And then in 2007, I actually won the World Mini Championship on an 85cc.
And Ken is on his way to possibly, looking good so far, another a Supercross championship. So we're hoping for the best for you, Ken. First of all, I gotta say, willkommen im USA.
Dankeschön.
Meine Frau ist aus Berlin gekommen und habe ich in Wiesbaden gewohnt.
Cool. Gutes Deutsch sprichst du. Ich spreche nicht mehr so viel Deutsch.
Das ist alle mein Deutsch.
Okay.
65 wert. Keine mehr. Ken, can you tell me what that bike is behind you there? It looks like I see CRF. I'm assuming it's a Honda because you have Ride Red all over the place there. What is that bike behind you?
Yeah, so this is actually my 2020 CRF 450R full factory bike. So my practice bike that I practice with on a daily basis out here in Florida is pretty much identical to the one that I'm racing on the weekends when we go to the Supercross races.
Could you describe what exactly Supercross is and how it's different from motocross and just regular motorcycle trail riding?
So yes, for the people that have never been to any kind of dirt bike racing, Supercross, we build track inside of, it can either be a football stadium or baseball stadiums. It can either be West Coast, East Coast, wherever it is. We have about 17 rounds in the year. The track is, obviously since it's in the stadium, the track is a lot shorter. It's more compact than motocross. There's more jumps and different obstacles on an actual track, right? And we race at night. So a lap time is usually about a minute long. And then we transition over into the motocross side, which motocross has probably been around a lot longer than Supercross. The tracks are usually in the middle of nowhere. They're not in stadiums or anything like that, but usually on a hilly side. We got a lot of elevation changes. The lap times are usually over 2 minutes long. The actual races are about 30 minutes plus 2 laps compared to Supercross race, which is 20 minutes plus 1 lap. And in Supercross, we have one main event. And on the motocross, or the outdoor championship, what we call it, we have 2 main events that are 30 minutes plus 2 laps long.
You have had a remarkable career, and especially this year. Yeah, there was about 3 years there where you were having a really tough time. You started this year, and you've got 3 wins already. I mean, you must be feeling really good about your riding now.
Yeah, absolutely. The last time I've won a race was in 2017, a Supercross race. It was 2017. So the weekend I got hurt was Anaheim 2. So that was the third race of the year. And then, so the first and the second race of the year, I won those back to back. And then I didn't win until this year. The second weekend in January was my first win. And I think it was 1,092 days between those wins, which is a long, long time, a big period of struggle that I went through. And then I finally got my first win, and then we clicked off a couple of more. I've led the most laps out of anybody in the whole series, and I was really happy with how we bounced back this year for sure.
And then just when all that was going so well for you, coronavirus comes and shuts down all racing all over the world. I mean, what are you thinking about that?
Everybody was affected by it. It sucked for everybody, and still actually to this point. So it really was what it was. It was sad that it was health related for everybody involved throughout the entire world. On the other hand, besides that, I really enjoyed just some downtime because most of the time we're wide open with our season, right? We got 15 races in a row, and then we have 1 weekend off, and then we have our last 2. We're going straight into motocross. So I actually, for the time being, at least enjoyed the time just being home, just because we do normally travel so much. Having said that, a couple of weeks into the whole quarantine thing, it was starting to get old, just because we are so used to always being on the road and being around people, and being around town and flying all the time and then being home for so long I think it threw a lot of us for a loop.
Yeah, are you able to do any riding at all in this downtime?
Yeah, absolutely. I live in Florida, obviously, and then we have a private facility out here that is not open to the public. So I have been getting plenty of time to ride and practice.
What's your workout routine like? Just in those Instagram photos, you look like you're built, man. You are really strong. What do you do to work out?
Yeah, good genetics. Everybody in my family is skinny and pretty not muscly, but you know what I mean? Like everybody's lean and got a good set of muscles on them. So definitely have some good genes. But no, having said that, putting in a lot of work, just doing as much as I can in the gym, doing my strength and just to get as much, but also keep my body safe, right? Like the stronger I am, the stronger my core is, and the more stable I am, the better it is for me in the long run, and especially being on the bike and also preventing injuries. So we always try to stay on top of all of that there, including doing a lot of cardio, because that's really what you need. It's definitely a combination of having strength and cardio. I do have to say that getting my cardio in is what makes me feel good on the bike. The strength side of things, you need that, but it's like I couldn't get away with only doing strength and then go riding my dirt bike. It wouldn't make me feel as good as of leaving the strength away and go and do my cardio. I would actually feel really good on the bike.
People imagine the life of a Supercross rider, and we sort of think of it, all this glamour and everything. What's it like on the tour? Is everybody just one big happy family, or do they just sort of pretend that for the TV and everybody hates each other? I mean, what's it like to be a rider on the tour?
I wouldn't say that everybody hates each other, but I also wouldn't say that everybody's best friends. I feel like in the industry, there's definitely a group of riders that are kind of tight and doing their thing and even training together. And there's probably about 4 to 5 groups or something like that, because we also live in different places in the world, right? There's actually more people coming to Florida now, but I usually train on a daily basis, train around 4, 5, 6 people. That is 250 mixed with 450. Our days are most of the time so hectic and so many fans there, we have meet and greets and autograph signings and everything to do that we don't have any time really to hang out with each other at the actual races. So once we come back after the weekends and during the week, Monday through Friday, I am out here training at the Sandbox in Florida, which is a private facility. And we have about, 5 to 6 pro guys that always ride together. So obviously we're close friends together, and we also go cycling together, things like that.
Speaking of popularity, you have 1.4 million Instagram followers. How did that happen? How did you do that?
I think part of it is just being honest, straightforward, and I give people a look into my life, without faking anything. So I've always been pretty active on social media, but Instagram in particular, just because I feel like that's what kind of suits me the most. And same with people posting pictures and photos. Like I feel like if you're active on it for fans, this is as close as you're gonna get on a daily basis to get an inside look at people's lives, right? So ever since Instagram first came out, I was on it right away, and I just stayed active on it. And I think together with myself and then my agent, we do a pretty good job with marketing and trying to do things outside of the sport. And the word just goes around. So I'm happy, and we're still building. I hope to be a lot higher than 1.4 million followers in the future.
One thing that mystifies me is how you guys are able to do just the physics of riding in Supercross. You fly through the air, and sometimes you do a double jump, sometimes a triple jump. You're way up there. There are different kinds of landings, and you guys seem to stick it every single time. How is it possible to do that? I look at that and I think I would just die. I would bail out and kick the bike away and just splat.
Almost every single time. There's plenty of times where it goes wrong, but that's kind of like the beauty of how difficult the sport actually is, because sometimes we even jump 4, and with how much practice time we get at the track at the races, you don't get much free practice where you can go and try things and get a lot of time actually on the track. So you got to learn the track quick. But that's the unique thing about Supercross and why it is so difficult. You have to be super precise. The tracks are tight, the jumps are big, they're steep, there's not much room for error.
And that little movement that you guys sometimes do, at first I thought you did it more often, but it looks like it's a celebratory thing. When you've just won and you're on the last jump, you kind of cross it up in the air. What is that called, and is that really just to celebrate?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called a whip, right? There's so many different types of whips. There's a regular whip, there's an oppo whip, we call it, where you tilt the bike more instead of actually getting under it. And this is really just for style, and they're fun to do, but most of the time I pick to do them when you win a race, you go through the finish line jump, and people get excited.
Well, I wish you all the best of luck in the coming year. I hope you get yet another championship to add to it. So viel Glück für den Rest der Saison.
Dankeschön.